Rudderman is a professional philanthropist and social activist based in Boston. She serves as the executive director of the Rudderman Family Foundation, a private family foundation that invests in three primary areas of focus: advocating for and advancing the inclusion of people with disabilities throughout society, strengthening the relationship between Israel and the American Jewish community, and, and modeling the practice of strategic philanthropy worldwide. She spoke with us about the impact of the coronavirus on the U.S. Jewish community and philanthropy, and first, the situation in Boston.
I would say that, first of all, I hope everyone is doing the best they can in terms of spirit. I would say that here in Massachusetts and in Boston, particularly similar to what's going on in Israel, I think they took a little bit more actions than other states. Here in the U.S., school is off already for a week. In terms of public school or day schools, universities took the first action before even high schools or elementary schools and released all their students. Restaurants are closed other than some, places that open for takeouts, but no one can go in. Synagogues in the Jewish communities closed their doors, which I think was one of the most difficult decisions in the local community to make, due to a fact that it's not like in a state level. This is the only places, the day schools and the synagogues, that the Jewish community gets together. And once you close the places that allow you to get together as a community, it's a very significant impact on many people, on their daily routine and their feeling of security. People are homes. The streets are empty. This is the truth. You don't see people either driving or walking. The only places that you come across is much as possible it's in the supermarkets, and even that is either in weird times or, things are empty, so people are, trying to figure out how to either stock up or build a routine that would allow them some more confidence.
So what about the impact? What about the impact specifically then on the Jewish communities? If the synagogues are closed, what kind of communal interaction is there?
I think that as a community, it took us here a little bit of time to assess and understand where this whole crisis is going. And once the U.S. figured out and admitted that it's a crisis, because it was in a delay here to everything that's happening in Israel, people started to understand that they cannot dismiss the situation or they cannot ignore it, which took a lot of time. I want to be honest to say that people didn't think like it's going to be a big deal, and synagogues, the Orthodox schools were the last one, like in Israel, to close, which took a lot of pressure. You have to remember that here everything is independent and private, so the force is, as a community, is very different. It's not like Israel makes a decision and all schools all in once are closed. Here, all the private schools, like universities, they all can make their decisions differently until the state orders, and the state orders either come late or don't come at all. So it's very interesting. Everyone, and I have to say, in the Jewish community is trying very responsibly to do all remote studying, which in the public schools, not all schools do remote studying, so it is a big change for the day schools, and a significant transition. This is number one. Number two, the synagogues, I think it is extremely challenging. So they're trying to do either, massive emails a few times a week, asking people to dive in the same time. So some feeling of a million kids along doing remote studying with, either rabbis or community rabbis or spiritual rabbis from other places in order to keep conversations and preparation for the holidays between Purim and Pesach. It's a significant challenge to understand how to prepare yourself, to the holidays here.
Well, let's talk about the holidays. We've got Seder night coming up, Pesach, of course, the principal Jewish holiday where families and friends get together. Are people now realizing that they won't be able to do this year, and it'll be strictly small family groups?
I think it's kicking in right now. Literally in the past weekend, even last night, we had few groups of friends getting together by either, group of FaceTime or Zoom. And this is individual, it's not an institution that's calling for that and saying, okay, we have to be realistic. It seems like we're not going anywhere. Borders are closed everywhere. Schools will not be open. All events, Seder, public events, everything is canceled. I think that it's tough. It's tough not because it's different to other people in Israel, because here, this is the opportunities for people to be part of a community or have Jewish life. There are many elderly or single people or students that if they don't go to, communal centers, they actually don't celebrate. So I think the community is trying to figure out, can we deliver Seder plates to like a massive number of people? Now, this means massive fundraising because no one budgeted for that. I do want to add to say that one of the major hits, and it sounds maybe trivial, definitely to us from Israel, that like, okay, many restaurants are getting hit. In communities, when you have 4 or 5 restaurants that are kosher, and you figuring out or realizing that they are closing, it means that most likely they're not going to reopen. And this will be a significant hit for the community because it's the one social aspect that you have, is to go out. So people trying to figure out, not that it's so simple, what do we do? Can we do anything as a community to make sure that all of our, kosher or Jewish institutions do not get a big hit so we don't go back to community life the day after?
Finally, what do you think the impact will be on Jewish philanthropy? Or is it too early to say?
This is our business in the foundation, to do philanthropy. And if I want to be responsible and yet not too positive or too negative, although positive it's always good to be, of course it will have an impact. Do we know to say what will be the impact? Like what will be the percentage, the amount? No. Can we compare it to other times, like in 2006 in the crisis in Israel, 2008, the global economic crisis? Philanthropy was the first one to step in, but in the same time, there were significant drops. Not because people didn't want to be responsible, because we have to understand the market is crashing for everyone. Also for foundations and wealthy people. I think that among us there are a group of foundations that can step out, like us, many others, that we're going to commit to all of our commitment. We're going to stand up. We're going to pay first and earlier than process to support the nonprofits. We all participate in emergency funds, which are taking place right now here in Boston by CJP, by the state of Massachusetts, by the state of Israel. We are participating, but yes, we will see a change. And therefore, I would say, if possible, and I know it's hard, instead of us just rushing to respond to all the needs, maybe we can just assess for a moment together and try to collaborate together. So our funds will not take place like things that happened in 06 and 09. Millions of dollars came in, but they were not processed well and not effectively, and their impact was not felt on the ground. I do want to say that, having health crisis and economic crisis will impact everyone. The question is, can we, try to analyze together instead of just be reactionary to respond, but be responsible and collaborative. This is a very difficult task, but we'll see an impact, and we have to all be, patient to coordinate that together.
Shira Rudderman,